Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, today we're plunging pretty much headfirst into one of the most dramatic and, well, historic moments in recent sports memory. We're talking the electrifying conclusion of the 2025 NBA Finals, that high-stakes Game 7 showdown between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers.
That's exactly right. And this deep dive, it's really designed to pull out the most important insights from the articles, the recaps you've probably seen. We're focusing not just on what happened, but on the key moments, the strategic shifts, the narratives that will really define this championship finale. We want to give you that inside track on why it was all so significant.
Right. So our mission for you listening in is to quickly get the full picture of this incredible series and especially those defining moments of Game 7. Think of it as your shortcut, kind of, to being completely up to speed on this huge sporting event. And hopefully we'll hit some surprising facts and insights along the way.
Okay, so let's set the scene for this winner-take-all Game 7. This series was, frankly, an absolute battle, just back and forth, a real chess match, adjustments, counterpunches, both teams fighting tooth and nail for everything. So heading into this final game, the 2025 NBA Championship, squarely on the line.
It really was a pressure cooker situation, and to really feel the stakes, we got to remember how we got there. The series tied 3-3, just immense pressure. So, quick recap. Game 1, Pacers just squeaked by, 111-110, tight start. Then OKC answered back. Game 2, pretty convincingly, 123-107. Indiana took Game 3 back home, 116-107. Then the Thunder tied it up again. Game 4, 111-104. OKC grabbed a huge Game 5 win, 120-109. Looked like they might close it out, but the Pacers, nope, not done. Took Game 6, pretty dominant, 108-91, forcing this Game 7.
Exactly. And this absolutely crucial Game 7, it took place Sunday, June 22nd, 2025. Tipped off 5:00 p.m. Pacific time. Stakes couldn't be higher. NBA title on the line. And specifically for OKC, this was their shot at a first-ever NBA championship. Huge.
Okay, let's dive right into what was, well, arguably the most impactful moment and honestly just heartbreaking. The injury to the Pacers star, Tyrese Haliburton. I mean, I remember watching that play live and just feeling the entire narrative of the series just shift. What exactly happened there?
You're totally right. It was devastating to see. Halliburton, he'd actually started the game incredibly strong, hit some early threes, looks like he was absolutely ready to, run the show for Indiana.
Yeah.
But then, just a little over 4 minutes into the first quarter, a non-contact Achilles tendon injury.
Oh, wow. Non-contact.
Yeah, just went down, collapsed, visibly in a lot of pain right there on the court. And, well, tragically for the Pacers, he did not return to the game. It wasn't just losing a player. It felt like a psychological earthquake hit that team.
Right. Yeah, you could almost feel the air go out of the building, couldn't you? I mean, an immediate, massive blow to Indiana's hopes. When Haliburton went down, my first thought was just, how much of their offense runs through him? Their pace, their kick and roll, everything. Was there any way, really, for them to even partially replicate what he brings? Or was that just too big a hole to fill?
That's a really crucial point.
Yeah.
And honestly, no. It wasn't really possible. Haliburton wasn't just their top scorer. He was the engine, the absolute core of their whole offensive identity. Losing him didn't just mean losing points. It kind of dismantled their system. Now, credit where it's due. Veterans like T.J. McConnell, Benedict Mathurin, they stepped up. They played hard. Admirable effort.
Right.
But that sheer volume of elite passing, that unique court vision Haliburton has, it just wasn't there. You saw Indiana struggling to get easy looks. They started settling for tougher shots, contested jumpers, often late in the shot clock. The offense just lost its crispness.
And yeah, to their credit, the Pacers' performance was valiant. It was gritty. Despite facing just unbelievable adversity, they battled really hard. But those challenges without Haliburton, they were just immense. Those offensive misfires you mentioned, the turnovers too, they really stopped any comeback attempts, didn't they? They just couldn't close that gap.
And that's exactly where Oklahoma City really saw their chance. They recognized the opportunity. They didn't just sit on their lead after a pretty tight first half. They systematically started to expand it. They pressed that advantage. They saw Indiana's offense was kind of fractured, and they just exploited it.
Yeah, OKC definitely pulled away decisively in that second half. But was there anything specific, like an adjustment maybe, beyond just capitalizing on the injury? What made Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's clutch scoring and Chet Holmgren's dominance in the paint? What made those things really stand out in that moment?
That's a great question. Because with Shai, what made his Game 7 so good Wasn't just the points total, it was his incredible efficiency on contested mid-range shots. Indiana tried a specific coverage without Haliburton guarding the perimeter, and Shai just consistently picked it apart. He turned seemingly low percentage shots into really high-value buckets. It was like a masterclass in scoring within the flow, but also knowing exactly when to take over. And Chet Holmgren, his dominance, it wasn't just, blocks or rebounds. It was his disciplined verticality, his anticipation. He basically shut down Indiana's desperate drives off the pick and roll without fouling. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a level of tactical rim protection you don't often see from young players. Really impressive.
Wow. So it sounds like their defense was maybe just as critical, maybe even more so than the offense in sealing it.
Oh, absolutely. No question. OKC's defense was suffocating. And their late-game composure, that was key, too. They kept their cool. They got critical stops, especially in the fourth when Indiana tried one last push. And just calm execution under all that pressure. That ensured the lead stayed solid right through the final buzzer. Those offensive misfires for Indiana you brought up, a lot of those came directly from OKC, forcing the issue. Aggressive doubles, forcing rush passes.
And with that, the final buzzer sounds. Oklahoma City Thunder defeat the Indiana Pacers 101-87. They clinch the 2025 NBA championship. Just an incredible moment for that franchise. OKC's first ever NBA title.
Yeah, and if we zoom out, look at the bigger picture. Game 7 really capped off just remarkable seasons for both these teams, didn't it? For the Thunder, this championship was the peak of a truly historic run. They came into the playoffs with, 68 regular season wins, met those sky-high expectations pretty much all year. So this title feels like a really fitting end to a dominant season.
Totally. And for the Pacers, you have to call this a breakout season. Just pure and simple. Led by Coach Rick Carlisle, they really shocked a lot of people, didn't they? With that deep playoff run, strong performances all year long. They definitely proved they belong up there with the league's best, pushing a team as good as the Thunder right to the very edge.
Absolutely. But ultimately, Indiana's achievement here, it feels deeply bittersweet. It has to. Marked by incredible resilience, strong play, pushing it to 7 games. That's amazing. But it was also undeniably just overshadowed by the heartbreak, the just tragic absence of their leader, Tyrese Haliburton, in that final most important game.
So yeah, this deep dive really shows that Game 7 was, well, it was thrilling, it was emotionally charged, and definitely a fitting end to what was just a fiercely competitive series.
Exactly. For the Thunder, you have a historic breakthrough. They finally reached the summit.
Yeah.
And for Indiana, well, it's a bittersweet achievement, isn't it? Defined both by their incredible tenacity and, unfortunately, just a cruel twist of fate.
And maybe this leaves us with something for you, the listener, to think about how just one single unforeseen moment, like an injury, how it can completely alter the narrative, not just for a game, but for a whole season's legacy, right? Triumph and defeat hanging in such delicate balance. It really makes you ponder that fine line between skill, strategy, and, well, just sheer circumstance in these high-stakes moments.